Well, hey everyone. Here's the current status of the bathroom. Demo just never ends, but you can see majority of the slab is tore out. I did my trenching. I cut my notches in and then started digging. And then as I was pulling the concrete out, I noticed how much of the slab was just loose. All the rest of it, you could kind of just bump it around. And then I noticed over here on this side, there was just a void. This side that's been sinking so much, there's just a void underneath it. And the ground was so soft, you could just press the pry bar right into it whenever I was knocking it around. And I didn't want to, but I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I can't just pour self-leveler on top of that, because it had nothing under it. Look at this. You see these leaves? It was just an actual cave underneath here. Their animals were building a nest underneath the slab because there was just nothing down there. And that's across this whole wall. So this portion behind me is still going to come out. I just have to move this dirt pile that I put up there whenever I was digging up all this plumbing. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't been recording it because it's so loud and dusty. I don't know what type of decent video I could get of that. And I can only talk about it so much. I mean, there's not much to it. I'm just cutting up concrete and pulling pieces out of the ground. Slow going, every bit of it. The saw cut's so slow, and cutting it up small enough that I can handle it to move it. It's rough. But I think everything on this side of the room can stay. None of this has sank, and the ground underneath it isn't all washed out or anything. So I've made some changes that I need to update everyone on to the layout. I can't even remember what the last update that I gave was, but I know that I had the corner toilet, not doing the corner toilet. I'm going to move that flange. I had the plumbers out here Friday, and they looked at everything, said everything looks fine, everything's possible that I want to do. they recommended moving that flange too. They said that that spot didn't really make sense for it. And they were like, I mean, you're at this point. I had most of the concrete out at that point when they were here. They were like, it's never going to be easier than right now to move it, and you're going to be dealing with it forever if you don't, which is what everyone's been saying in the comments. I just try to save time, but it does make sense. And now that I've decided that we're doing a shower tub combo that's only going to be 32 inches wide off this wall, we have plenty of room to move the toilet over right here and just have a straight toilet. So I've got a line drawn right here. The flange is going to center up right here. And that puts me, if I get a 32-inch tub, that'll put me 15 inches off the tub, which I got that layout from my apartment bathroom. I like the layout that my apartment bathroom is right now. I've been living in there for like 2 years. That's how close the toilet is. It's a shower tub combo in there too, and that's the distance that the center of the toilet is off of the edge of the bathtub is 15 inches. So 32 inches off of that, and then 15 inches off of that puts me right here, center of the toilet here. And you see how much room that leaves me here? I'll have plenty of room to the bathtub on this side. It won't be tight at all. It's, like I said, it's the setup I've been using for 2 years. And that will leave us a fairly big void over here, but can definitely come up with something to do there. So we're going to move this vent back against this wall. We're not going to be able to go into it because it's got that concrete stem wall, but we'll just put it against the wall and I'll just build a little bump out or something. And then sink is going over here. I'm pretty sure I updated everyone on that. Actually, no, I don't think I did. I think I kind of think that the last video I was still planning on doing the L-shaped counter. I've changed my mind on that. I went ahead and dug the trench out. That's where this line came from, is where I did just have a trench cut and dug into right here for the sink. But that's when I noticed that this huge chunk of slab was just broken, or I knew it was broken, but I just noticed how loose it was. And all this was loose and floating over ground, and then everything ended up coming out. But we're going to have a drain going from here to there for the sink, drain going from here to there for the tub. That's all going to go away. We're doing all new PEX. Those plumbers said that this stuff that they used is really cheap and it leaks. Oh, it's very prone to leaking. So they said just do away with all that. That gets rid of the mystery water pressure line. And we're just going to tie in right here. I told them I'd cut them an access hole into the crawl space right here on the other side of this wall in that closet. That way they're not having to crawl all the way from the access, or from the current access. It's all the way over there, over to here. And then we're just going to stub up this wall right here. And I'll have a wall framed up for the shower tub combo here. They said they do a new hot water line through the crawl space while they're in there. So hot and cold will just come out of this wall right here, come into this wall for the shower. We'll do whatever they recommend to the sink, and then whatever we got to do to get it to the toilet here. So this will be a lot more concrete to put down. Oh, you may notice I took the rest of the wall down. That's because I cut this on the other side of the wall because this wall was leaning so much. I didn't want to build a wall with a sill plate on a slope or shim it up or whatever I was going to have to do. So I cut it out so far that I can level this out, and then the wall will actually sit on top of it. And then that way, at some point, when I correct the slab in this room, I'll be able to just level it up, flush it up across there, and it'll all just be a continuous thing. It works out good, because I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but there was always a step up into this other room, which I thought was weird. It's just because this slab had sank so much. So that's actually going to end up being flush, which will be cool. And then this will, once I redo this room, definitely going to be cutting it close on my schedule on moving into this place. I've already got probably I think 5 weekends left before I've got to be moved in here. And at the pace I've been moving, it's not going to be ready in time. So unless I can pick the pace up, we'll see. It's part of the reason why I haven't been recording, because I'm trying to get moving on this. But the plumbers sound like they're going to be able to get to it pretty quick, and it's not like a big job for them. It's just I told them all I need done right now is just add these 2 drains. We'll pour the slab. I'll talk to them about if they want to run PEX underneath the slab for the toilet, or if they'd rather just run it through the wall to supply it. Then we can pour the slab, and then I can frame up this wall and this wall, And I do need to widen this doorway still. I'm kind of dreading that because it's shiplap on the other side of this. I'll have to demo that again. But this door needs to widen about 4 inches. And that's going to put me into that closet. I'm going to have to tear the closet out. But that'll be maybe tomorrow. I got a 3-day weekend this weekend, so that helps. But I got to widen this out. And this is a load-bearing wall. But this doorway isn't in the portion that... I don't have to touch any part of the studs that are load-bearing. Drain's got to get put in, slab's got to get poured, walls have to get framed up, and then tub's got to go in, and then sheetrock, or before that, walls have got to get framed, insulation has to go in. I have an exhaust fan that I bought today that has to go in somewhere in this vicinity, and then I do need to change the light fixtures, but I don't think that's a big thing. Outlet's got to be put back in the wall somewhere, wherever it's going to end up. Anyway, a lot of stuff has to happen in about 5 weeks, but if I can at least get a shower and toilet in, I'm fine. I don't care about the rest of it being done. So I may end up doing this stuff kind of out of order, just so I can have a functional bathroom by the time I move in here. But if I don't, I do have a plan B. A company sent me this camping portable toilet. And it's the best one I think I've ever seen. Usually they're pretty gnarly. But this one actually has a clean water tank and a wastewater tank, and it flushes. It's got, this is the wastewater tank down here. You can pull this, let's see, you fill the wastewater, you fill the clean water tank up, and then you can use it, and then you flush it by pumping this. This pumps water in through the bowl and dumps it. And then you can shut this valve, and that closes off the hole to the wastewater tank, and then this whole thing lifts off, and then you have just the wastewater tank, which is sealed. You have a handle, and then this is your clean out spout. Flip that around and take it wherever you're going to dump it, and you can open it up and just dump it out. Not ideal, but definitely would work. So, not as good as the real deal, but better than a lot of other temporary solutions. I mean, because as far as camping toilets go, that's a lot nicer than like the one that I have. So we always have that, and then I've seen some temporary shower things that are actually designed for bathroom remodels that hook into the washing machine, hot and cold water supply. And they just kind of hang on the wall, and then you can just put like a big plastic tub down and have like a temporary shower. It's a pretty good idea that someone had to design that for houses with bathroom remodels. So I've got ideas. I've got background ideas if we can get this done in time. And you may have noticed this. Can't remember if I've ever talked about this, but this is either an old clean out or an old toilet flange. It's got a cap on it like a clean out, but it's a good chance that was the toilet flange and they just capped it. This house has an old abandoned septic system that was all cast. It's like metal piping. There's a big vent pipe outside, right outside this window that's abandoned. And there's a septic tank out there that's collapsing in that's abandoned. This house is on sewer now. City sewer. But that's what that is, so nothing really has to be done with that. I'll ask the plumbers. They have a recommendation on what we should do with that, but I imagine we can probably just go over it. It's down, so everything sank. It sank with the slab, so it's down so low now I could just pour the concrete over the top of it. But I'll ask them if we need to do anything before. Ask their opinion on if anything needs to happen with that. And that septic tank is going to have to be filled in at some point. It's collapsing. It's creating a sinkhole in the yard, and I bet you if I drove the excavator over it, it would just fall right in. So that's going to be an upcoming project. Will be uncovering that septic tank and busting those walls down and filling it in with dirt and gravel so that that's not just a booby trap in the backyard anymore. And real quick, not very related to what I've been talking about, but I am not crazy about this Irwin 42-inch wrecking bar that I bought. This thing bends easier than any other pry bar I've had besides Harbor Freight ones. Harbor Freight pry bars are a novelty. They're just a joke. But, man, this thing, you would think that it could withstand some force. And I really have not been prying with it that hard. But I've bent this end like 6 times. I bend it and then bend it back and then bend it. Now it's all wavy and bent sideways, and this end is all bent. It just, you're prying with it and you can feel it just bending instead of prying anything. That's crazy for a full size wrecking bar. I like most of Irwin's stuff, but this thing, it was cheap. It was only like 24 bucks, but geez. It's still working, but it's all deformed now. It looks like a 15-year-old bar. I had a Bostitch 36-inch wrecking bar. We never bent that thing. Had it for years, and then it got stolen. Never bent that pry bar. We pried on it way harder than what I've been doing with that one. Anyway. But I thought that toilet was neat. Company reached out to me, and they asked me if I was interested in trying out any of their products on the channel. Said they were wanted to support however that they could. So I'll put some info for them on the screen in the description if you want to look through their website. They're like an RVing and camping website. They got some cool stuff on there. So that's it for now. I'm going to go eat lunch. May or may not record any more after this. I don't know if I'll get much more done today besides just tearing this out because it's going to be slow going. I got to move all this dirt into the wheelbarrow and then probably cut it in half because it's going to be too big it's going to be too big of a chunk to get out. So I'll have to dig the dirt out, cut it in half, knock it out of there, dolly it outside. And then my next step is going to be trenching. Trench to where the drain goes here, trench to where the drain goes there. So may or may not record another update like that after this. Just wanted to give some sort of update since I hadn't made a video in a while. It's just been slow going, boring stuff. I don't have any type of update on the wreck. I still haven't heard anything from insurance or anything for anyone that's wondering about that, about how the truck situation is going. They picked it up on Wednesday, I think. Today's Sunday, and we haven't heard anything from them yet, which, you know how the insurance stuff goes. It moves slow. But from everything that they've said so far, they're leaning towards just going ahead and totaling it. But they said they want to take a look at it. They said typically any vehicle with damage to the axle is usually just enough to total it. And this truck has damage to the axle, drive shaft, frame, suspension, exhaust, brakes. So we'll see. They haven't been acting like they're going to try to not total it though. The total loss department is who came and picked it up because they were so confident that it's probably just totaled. So. But nothing besides that, so that's the only update that I got. I still feel perfectly fine, but I am going to the doctor on Tuesday just to get some x-rays, and they're going to do a little check over. They called me, or a local doctor's office called me, and they said that they work accidents all the time is what they do. I think the police department gave them my information. They said they already have the accident report, and they do follow-ups, and they recommended it. Everybody else has recommended it, so I do still feel fine. I'm not taking that for granted. I'm going to go ahead and get checked out, though. That way we can be for sure. And I got a doctor's visit on record if anything ever did end up showing up later on. So there's an update. Thank you guys for sticking around, and thanks for watching.